Hello students, welcome back to Career Power Hyderabad powered by Adda 24 by 7. So today we'll see the important MCQs, but before going into this session, please subscribe our YouTube channel, share the channel with your friends. So do download the Career Power Hyderabad app. We provide coaching for bank, SSC, RRB as well as for SA, Police, Stable, Constable. So please download the Career Power app. We will provide the link in the description. So let's go into the first MCQ for today. So who among the following has become the Nepal's Prime Minister for the fifth time? So who among the following has become the Nepal's Prime Minister for the fifth time? The answer is Sher Bahadur Duba. Sher Bahadur Duba is the new Prime Minister of Nepal and he is the fifth time Prime Minister of Nepal. So he is a Congress president, the Nepali Congress president. So on 13th July, he becomes the Prime Minister for Nepal for the fifth time. So his appointment is in line with the ruling issued by the Supreme Court on 12th July. So Duba, earlier he was 4 times Prime Minister between 1995, 1997, 2001, 2002, 2005, 2004 and 5 and 2017, 2018. So earlier 4 times he was the Prime Minister of Nepal. So if you see the background of the news, on 21st May 2021, the Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli, so he failed to get a vote of confidence. He failed to show his majority in the House of Representatives. So the opposition alliance, mainly consisting of the Nepali Congress, the Communist Party of Nepal Maoist Center, and Madhav Kumar Nepal of the Communist Party of Nepal UML Party, and Upendra Yadav of the People's Socialistic Party. So it's a grand alliance. So they requested the president to appoint Duba as the Prime Minister. Okay. So but the president denied, and president denied that neither Duba nor Ohili will be the Prime Minister, and she dissolved the entire House of Representatives, that is the Lok Sabha, like Lok Sabha in India. So on 12th July, the Constitutional Bench of Supreme Court, so it gave a decision that the House of Representatives cannot be dissolved, and Duba, so who is now the current Prime Minister of Nepal, he must be appointed as the Prime Minister. So the Supreme Court ordered the President Bindya Devi Bandari to appoint Duba as the Prime Minister within 28 hours. So because of this decision by the Supreme Court, now Sher Bahadur Duba is the new Prime Minister of Nepal. Okay, so please remember Sher Bahadur Duba is the new Prime Minister of Nepal. So within 30 days, Duba need to prove his majority in the House, or else again the House will dissolve and new elections will come in Nepal. So please remember all these points. So Nepal capital Kathmandu, Nepal currency Nepalese rupee. So please remember all these points. Nepal Prime Minister Sher Bahadur Duba. Next question, who has become the first Indian to be selected for judging the gymnastic games of the Olympics? So who has become the first Indian to be selected for judging the gymnastic games, gymnastic competition of the Olympic Games? The answer is Deepak Kabra. So Deepak Kabra, the first Indian to be selected for judging the gymnastic competition of the Olympic Games. So he will be officiating the men's artistic gymnast at the Tokyo Games. So he is a 33-year-old person from Maharashtra. So he came to the sport very late. So he realized that his fundamentals are not strong. So he shifted towards coaching. He shifted towards becoming a judge. So he, like his coach Kaushik Bediwala, he also wants to become a judge. He took inspiration from Kaushik and he took a course and he topped the course in 2009. And immediately in 2010 Commonwealth Games, it was his first international assignment. Later on, he became the first Indian judge in the 2014 Asian Games and Youth Olympics. Again in 2018, he participated in Asian Games, Commonwealth Games and Youth Olympics in Argentina. So these are all the events which he participated as judge. Now it will be his first Olympic as a judge. So first Olympic Games as a judge for gymnastics. So please remember Deepak Kabra. So next question, which country will host the 2026 World Badminton Championships? So which country will host the 2026 World Badminton Championship? The answer is India. India is going to host this World Badminton Championships. So the Badminton World Federation, they allotted this championships to India for 2026. This will be the second time India will be hosting this event. So earlier it was hosted in 2009 at Hyderabad. So in the Hyderabad city in 2009, the World Championships were held. So from 2009 till today, India has hosted the Thomas Cup, Uber World Cup, Uber Cup Finals, Asian Championship, Super 500 events, and Yonex Sunrise India Open. So these are all the events handled by India till date. So this Badminton World Federation is an international governing body for the badminton sport, mainly recognized by the International Olympic Committee, which is established in 1934 and headquartered in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Please remember this headquarters also, because you have a question on this headquarters. So next question, Yashpal Sharma has passed away recently. So he is a famous, Yashpal Sharma has passed away recently. He is a famous personality belonging to which category? The answer is cricket. So Yashpal Sharma belongs to cricket. So the former Indian cricketer Yashpal Sharma, who was the member of the 1983 Cricket World Cup team. So he is also the second highest scorer after Kapil Dev in this tournament. So gaining 240 runs in 8 innings with 2 half centuries. So he represented India in 37 Test and 42 ODIs. He is mainly a middle order batsman of the 1970s and 80s. So a Punjab born cricketer who represented Punjab Haryana Railways in the Ranji trophies. He made his first test debut in 1979 and his last test in 1983. He totally scored 1606 runs in this test cricket matches. Also he is a national selector for a couple of years, and also he is a cricket expert in TV shows. So in TV news channels he regularly appeared as a cricket expert. So these are all the things about Yashpal Sharma. So please remember Yashpal Sharma, very important cricketer of the 1983 World Cup team. So next, late Harappan era articrafts were found in. Late Harappan era articrafts were found in Jalgaon, Maharashtra. So in the Jalgaon district, Maharashtra, at a village called Yaval, these particular articrafts were discovered by Bhujang R. Bobde, the director of Heritage Foundation. So the director of Heritage Foundation, Bhujang R. Bobde, he found these articrafts belonging to the Indus Valley civilization era. So they are a small and big pieces of pottery and vessels. So mainly these pottery items, pieces were found in white mounds near the entrance of Nimbalkar Fortress. So it is a fortress present in this Yaval region in the Jalgaon district. So these pottery pieces are mainly plain, so mostly they are plain. Some are uniquely painted with scales, checkers, images of trees, birds, animals, all these things are some with ringed bottoms, some with plain bottoms. So these potteries are wheel made. So this discovery, so they discovered that these are wheel made, some are painted, some are plain, and they belong to two time periods. One is the Indus Valley civilization time period, and the other is the era belonging to medieval era, the 15th and 16th centuries. So they came to a conclusion, that Bobde came to a conclusion that it's a twin discovery, which indicates that this region, this North Maharashtra region, was inhabited for many years, for many time periods. So even though Indus Valley civilization faded, people used to reside in this area because of the evidence of the pottery present here, where pottery was present from Indus Valley civilization as well as from the medieval era. So please remember, the late Harappan era articrafts were found in Jalgaon district, Maharashtra. Next question, Indian Navy has received anti-submarine warfare aircraft P-8I from US based aerospace company Boeing. So which number it is? So India has received which number? How many number till date? So the answer it is 10th. It is the 10th aircraft received from the Boeing company, and the aircraft is titled P-8I. The aircraft is titled P-8I. So going into the details, so Indian Navy has received the 10th anti-submarine warfare aircraft P-8I. So mainly from the company called the Boeing. So the remaining aircrafts, 2 aircrafts are expected to be delivered by the 2021. So Defense Ministry in 2009, they signed a contract for 8 PAI aircrafts. Later on in 2016, they added additional 4 more aircrafts. So total 8 plus 4, 12 aircrafts. Until now 10 aircrafts were received to India, 2 are left to be received from Boeing. So this details about this aircraft P-8I, it's I not 1, P-8I is a long range maritime reconnaissance and anti-submarine warfare aircraft, mainly a variant of the P-8A Poseidon of the US Navy. So it is mainly the variant of the P-8A Poseidon of the US Navy. So Indian Navy is deploying these aircrafts mainly to keep track of the movement of ships and submarines in the Indian Ocean region, and also for humanitarian missions during disasters. So this aircraft is mainly used for keeping track of the movement of ships and submarines in the Indian Ocean region. So India is also the first international customer of Boeing for this aircraft. So this aircraft was inducted in 2013. So first aircraft was inducted in 2013. Also remember Boeing headquarters Chicago, and Boeing was formed in 1916. So please remember Indian Navy has inducted this P-8I aircraft in 2013, and Boeing headquarters Chicago. Boeing is found in 1916. So next question, which country has signed a US dollar 1.3 billion deal with India to develop 679 megawatt Lower Arun hydropower project? So already there is a project called Arun hydropower project in which country? So that will be your answer. So a US dollar 1.3 billion deal with India is done to develop the Lower Arun hydropower project. The answer is Nepal. So Nepal and India are developing this Lower hydropower project, Lower Arun hydropower project, mainly between the districts of Bhojpur and Shankuva Shaba. So between these districts in the eastern Nepal, this project is being developed. So this project will be developed by the Satlej Jal Vidyut Nigam Limited, which is an Indian company in the Himalayan nation of Nepal. So it is a second mega project after the 900 megawatt Arun 3 hydropower project. So already Arun 3 hydropower project is present in Nepal. So to the lower to this, suppose if this is Arun 3, so below it, this particular Nepal's Lower Arun project is being to be developed. Okay. So this project will be built on the build, own, operate, transfer, boot model. So which is boot model, build, own, operate, transfer model. So it will be the single largest foreign investment in a country based on 2017 cost estimates. So India's single largest foreign investment in this country based on 2017 estimates. So these are all the details about the project. So next question, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, he passed away recently. He is a famous. So Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, he passed away recently. He is a famous. So he is a famous wrestler. So Paul Orndorff, a renowned American professional wrestler. So he is nicknamed as Mr. Wonderful. So he is one of the professional wrestling biggest stars of the 1980s who made appearances in the World Wrestling Federation and World Championship Wrestling competitions. He is also inducted into the World Wrestling Entertainment WWE. You know WWE is very famous. WWE Hall of Fame in 2008. So these are all the details about Paul Orndorff. So please remember. So who has inaugurated a research-based center of excellence at the National Forensic Science University in Gandhinagar, Gujarat? So who has inaugurated a research-based center of excellence at National Forensic Science University in Gandhinagar, Gujarat? The answer is Amit Shah. The answer is Amit Shah. So going into the news, Amit Shah has inaugurated the center of excellence at National Forensic Science University. So mainly this Center of Excellence will work for research and analysis of narcotics, drugs, psychotropic substances at the National Forensic Science University, which is present in Gandhinagar, Gujarat. So this will help the youth to become free from addiction of drugs and narcotics. So this will also help in research and analysis of drugs and narcotics which are seized in different parts of the country. Amit Shah also inaugurated the investigation of crime against women for Indian police, a virtual training model on the investigation of crime against women for Indian police. So Gujarat Chief Minister Vijay Rupani, Gujarat Governor Acharya Devvrat. So please remember all these points, very important. So next question, which space agency is planning to launch the geo-imaging satellite GISat-1 in August? So which space agency is going to launch the GISat-1 in August, geo-imaging satellite GISat-1 in August? The answer is ISRO. ISRO is going to launch this GISat-1 satellite from Sriharikota space station by using the GSLV F10 rocket on August 12. So this GISat-1 will be placed in geosynchronous transfer orbit by the GSLV F10. So from there it will go into the final geostationary orbit, which is about 36 kilometers above the Earth's equator, by using its own propulsion system. So it is a 2268 kg GISat satellite which is used for real-time imaging of the large areas of interest and for quick monitoring of natural disasters and also for obtaining spectral signatures of agriculture, forestry, minerals, disaster warning, cloud property, snow, glacier, oceanography. So these are all the details about GISAT-1, so which is mainly the geo-imaging satellite, Earth observation satellite. So next about ISRO. ISRO is a national space agency, operates under the departments of space, which directly comes under the Prime Minister of India. It mainly performs tasks related to space application, space exploration. The present chairman is K. Shivan, headquartered Bengaluru and established in 1969. Please remember all these points. So next question, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has launched Beam UPI QR based payments in which country? Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has launched Beam UPI QR based payments in which country? The answer is Bhutan. The answer is Bhutan. Okay. So with this Beam UPI QR based payment system in Bhutan, so all the 2 lakh tourists who are traveling to Bhutan every year and businessmen from India, they can have seamless connections, they can have easy payment systems because of this UPI, Beam UPI in Bhutan. And Bhutan, after Singapore, is the second country to accept the Beam UPI payment system. This will enhance the ease of living and traveling through cashless transactions. So these services were given to Bhutan under India's neighborhood first policy. So Beam is one of the brightest achievements of digital transactions in India during the time of COVID-19 pandemic, because more than 100 million QR codes have created in this last 5 years. So this agreement was happened between the NPCI International Payments Limited, that is National Payments Corporation of India International Payments Limited, and Royal Monetary Authority of Bhutan to implement Beam UPI. Please remember, Bhutan capital Thimphu, Bhutan currency Bhutan is Engaltram. Bhutan is the only country to accept RuPay cards which are created by India. RuPay card is created by India and Bhutan is the only country to accept it. So Beam, we'll see about Beam. Beam is a mobile payment app developed by the NPCI, National Payments Corporation of India. So Beam is based on Unified Payments Interface, which is launched on December 30, 2016. So it will facilitate e-payments directly through banks. It will facilitate e-payments directly through banks, and it is built on the immediate payment system infrastructure, which allows user to instantly pay money in real time. Very simple. If you have a mobile linked with your bank and if you have a Beam app, simply you can transfer the money to your friend's account without any delay. So simply by a password you can transfer your money. So it is very fast. It's an immediate payment system. So next question, name the author of the book The Great Big Lion. Name the author of the book The Great Big Lion. Name the author of the book The Great Big Lion. The answer is Crisis Knight. So Crisis Knight is the author of the book. The book title Great Big Lion was drawn and written by the child prodigy Crisis Knight. So this book is about lion and two children. It talks about friendship, inclusivity, wildlife conservation and world of imagination. This book is going to be published by Penguin Random House India. In India it will be published by Penguin Random House. So if you see about Crisis Knight, this child is currently residing in Canada who learned to read at the age of 1 and started writing the story of the Great Big Lion at the age of 3. She shared it with her family and was determined to do the artwork for getting the book published. So she was successful now. Her book is now published. So if you see about the child prodigy, so child prodigy is very simple, that children are very smart. Age is just a number and children can do anything in their childhood. So this is about prodigy, means child can do anything at any age. There is no thing like number, at this age you need to do these things. That is all trash. Child can do, every child can do anything at any age. So India's first National Dolphin Research Center will come up in Patna. So India's first National Dolphin Research Center will come up in Patna. So it is also the Asia's first and India's first, mainly to protect the dolphins and to do research on dolphins. So around 1455 dolphins were present in the Ganga river during the survey of 2018 and 2019. So Gangetic dolphin is the India's national aquatic animal. So please remember, Gangetic dolphin is India's national aquatic animal. So this animal is presently endangered under the IUCN Red List, International Union for Conservation of Nature. Also this dolphin is a Schedule 1 protected animal. So it is protected under the Wildlife Protection Act Schedule 1. So please remember all these points. So there are total 4 freshwater dolphins in the world. So one is present in Ganga, second is present in Yangtze, third is present in Indus, and the fourth is present in Amazon river. So in these 4 rivers, 4 dolphins are present, freshwater dolphins, and the Gangetic dolphin is present mainly in India, Bangladesh and Nepal countries. You can find these dolphins in these countries. So it is blind and it finds its way and prey in the river using echolocation. So using sound, echolocation, it will find its prey and its way. So Bihar has almost 1500 Gangetic dolphins in India. So India has a total estimate of 3000 dolphins, and Bihar, only Bihar state has 1500 dolphins. So please remember all these points. So where is the headquarters of Badminton World Federation? We already discussed, I told you to remember at the start of this session. Where is the headquarters of Badminton World Federation? The answer is Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. The answer is Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. So the last question for today, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has unveiled the statue of Mahatma Gandhi in which of the following country? So External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has unveiled the statue of Mahatma Gandhi in which of the following country? The answer is Georgia. So External Affairs Minister was on an official visit to Georgia. So in Georgia, in the capital city of Georgia, Tbilisi. So in the capital city of Georgia, Tbilisi, so he inaugurated this Gandhi statue mainly in the Tbilisi park. So during his 2-day visit to Georgia, so this Georgia is a very strategic country which is present between the intersection of the Eastern Europe and Western Asia. So he went to this country to deal with the country's top leadership, to meet them, to greet them, and to have MOUs with the country, India and Georgia. So in this meeting, he inaugurated this Gandhi statue, and also he presented Saint Queen Keteva's relics to the Georgian Prime Minister. So this Saint Queen Keteva is the 17th century Georgian queen who attained martyr. So her relics were found in Saint Austin Convent in Old Goa. So in Goa, her relics were found. So these relics were preserved and it were given to the Georgian Prime Minister. So please remember all these points. So Georgian capital Tbilisi, and Georgian currency Georgian lari. So Georgian capital Tbilisi and Georgian currency Georgian lari. So please remember all these points. So these are all the MCQs for today. So please subscribe our YouTube channel. Please share the channel with your friends. Also join the Telegram channel. Download the Career Power Hyderabad app. We provide coaching for Bank SSC RRB, India's top coaching for Bank SSC RRB. So do download the Career Power app. We will provide the link in the description. So that's it for today. We'll meet in the next session. Thank you one and all.